Ebro Rosenberg show.
Jamani Williams, if we get back into Tourette gate, Jamani Williams has jumped on the social medias talking about his tic and kind of explaining because he has a similar tic.
Well, he has Tourette's.
He has Tourette's. But he said he had the same one as the man that blurted out during BAFTA.
No, he doesn't have that.
You're sure?
I'm pretty sure he has a different one, but he remember his mom saw a documentary about someone with a similar one. Wasn't that what it was? He doesn't have that same, because we've been around Jamani mad times. His tic isn't blurting. His is physical.
He says in this clip. You have the clip? Run the clip.
All right. Okay.
When I was elected over 15, 16 years ago, I was thought to be the first elected official with Tourette syndrome. And thankfully that is no longer the case. And people with corporalia only make up about 10 to 30% of people who
and that's what it is,
corporalia. It's important to remember that it's not just a lack of a filter, it's an involuntary compulsion, whether it's vocal or body movements, and it can also include very bad intrusive thoughts. Now, before I was diagnosed, my mother saw a 2020 special. It actually had a man who was white, and his tic was one of his tics was the N-word. This was over 30 years ago. Now, obviously, we want to practice care when we're speaking about the person who has Tourette syndrome, who is the ticker, because they also require some grace and some consideration. You also have to provide empathy and care for people who are receiving it, like Delroy Lindo, like Michael B. Jordan, like the thousands, if not more, of people who heard it. They deserve some care and compassion as well, and I believe that's where the ball was dropped. I don't think there was enough care that was provided. And there's some ways I want to talk about how we could have and how BAFTA and others can do better in the future. Back to that 2020 special. That white man who had tics of an N-word, what he used to say was nickels, pennies, and dimes. And he augmented it in a way. And I learned to do that when I was diagnosed.
See, that's interesting.
So I guess maybe he did have a vocal tic also.
Corporalia. Well, he's saying corporalia could be physical or verbal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I found it interesting because the special he's referencing says the man conditioned himself to say nickels, pennies, and dimes instead of the N-word.
But just so you know, he was still thinking the N-word.
I don't know. Is that what you trying to trigger me?
Well, no, because
you're not using care, Rosenberg.
No, because what I was trying to. We were having a conversation off the air, and I think we tried to get through this yesterday. Everyone keeps saying, why is that the word you say? I think that's us missing what the tic and compulsion is. The compulsion is to say that thing that you're not supposed to say.
Well, so for us unprofessionals that don't understand how the brain works, when
speak for yourself.
When you understand how the brain works.
What?
Nice.
I went to Maryland, bro.
Bitch!
Well, I don't know why that is. See, Ebro?
Compulsive. It just comes out. That's what I was thinking when you were talking. That's what I was thinking.
Why are you doing that?
Because he said intrusive thoughts.
Right, and yours was, shut up, bitch. And you had to push the button. He can't help but push the button.
You gotta shut your white mouth.
Oh, why do you have to bring that up?
So intrusive thoughts. Because it makes me think, as somebody who's not educated on this, why are you having these intrusive thoughts? Why? And I guess that's what they're trying to figure out with Tourette's. That's why it's a thing. The man 30 years ago that Jamani's referencing was able to recondition himself.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I wonder if that was done with research and like later on in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and also maybe the specialist you worked with has a method that they was like, hey, and other people like, I don't even know you could do that.
Exactly.
Because I've never heard. Listen, I'm no expert. I've just seen some shows and some doc stuff on it. I didn't know you could recondition it and be like, hey, if you work on this word, that can be the word you say instead of. But it doesn't change the fact that the compulsion is there to say the bad thing. Yeah. That's the point, is that they are saying the bad thing. And I saw people in the comments yesterday, but why is that in your vocabulary?
I said that.
But every adult human knows all the bad words you're not supposed to say. It doesn't mean that you would say it. But you know it's there.
So you thought it.
If you.
But that's the piece people are trying to get to. Are you thinking it when it happens?
But it's more, to me, the way I understand it is I walk on stage. Ebro has this compulsion. I walk on stage. Ebro's just like, Jew face! Because he knows he's a Jew. He's not thinking anything bad about it, but he knows that's what he is, and that's the most inappropriate thing is what comes out of your brain.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what I think it is.
No, I think what you're saying is correct. I don't know if it's acceptable to people who don't understand.
It's not. I don't know. But it's
You know
a
what
real
I'm saying?
illness.
No,
Yeah,
it
I
is.
know.
But it goes back to empathy, right? We were talking about empathy yesterday on the show and how hard it is sometimes to wrap your brain around what someone else is going through, right? Like, and I think that applies to this Tourette situation where you're trying to figure out, like, wait a minute. So you don't mean what you said, or you do mean what you said? Because that's what people are really trying to figure out. It's not about the blurting of the word. It's why did you think it? That's what people are thinking.
I get it. And once it's said,
But it's not that they're thinking it.
But that's what people want answers to. Did you think it or nah?
Well,
it's kind of like, wait, sorry, Laura. It's kind of like how people justify, was it the A or the ER?
Right.
Intention.
Right, the intention of it. Sure.
That's what people are trying. I believe people are trying to wrap your brain around that. Go ahead, Laura. I'm sorry.
obviously, yes, they're thinking it. But what I was saying is, like, once it's said, there has to be a better way of handling it. I just didn't like the way people were just kind of like, hey, you know, he has a condition. Everybody, if you're offended,
No, that we all
you know
agree
what
that
I
was
mean?
bad.
Well-
It's like you need to hold space and be like, no, that was wrong.
No, the BAFTAs. Well, listen. They managed to edit out someone saying "Free Palestine."
So watch this. That's the part. Get Dejan Campbell's IG post. Let's just watch my brain. The amount of things they edited out.
Oh,
remember,
there was multiple things.
what?
Rosenberg.
So that's the real. Let's be honest.
That's the real story.
issue. Us breaking down Tourette's is different. It's to me, it's not about us breaking down Tourette's. I understand why people feel away.
We have it, Rasan. What they edited out of the BAFTAs, it's on the paper.
But it's good to have the conversation just to educate.
It is. But people also need to ask themselves, you know, obviously everyone has the right to be more offended by the N-word than other words.
Yeah.
But would you feel the same way about it if it was a heavy person and he was just like, fat bitch? Out of it, like, would you feel a way, or would you be like, oh man, that's Tourette's, that's crazy? But when it's about something that hurts us directly, we're less likely to have the empathy for it because it personally affects you.
It's personal.
It feels personal.
Of course it's
But it
personal.
doesn't change what the Tourette's is.
No, but the N-word is something that's so egregious. It's
Correct.
so specific and so tied to history. Oh, and oh, by the way, you're white. And oh, by the way, BAFTAs edited out mad stuff and didn't edit that out.
No, well, that's the
no,
part.
mad stuff, bro. It was an hour or 2 hour delay.
Yeah, I think
they
that-
chose not to edit it out. That's a choice.
Yeah, I have no idea how they could have done that.
Yeah.
That's not like
that's
just
what made it
Juanito
crazy.
missing the edit or Rasan not having a clip.
You mean like yesterday when we did this whole segment about how offensive the N-word is, and then we played clips on the show that edited out the S-word and included the N-word?
N-word.
We're as bad as the BAFTAs.
Oh, God.
And no, don't you laugh. I mean, Bascom. He is the BAFTAs. His new nickname is Baftum. Rasan Baftum. he just left the N-word in.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's incredible.
But yeah, there was a Free Palestine that they took out,
I heard.
and there was an
well, no, there were
S-word.
other outbursts that
that he had.
that the person had that they edited out.
Oh, they're trolling it. Ebro, how do you not go to your... They just wanted people to talk about the BAFTAs. Not this many people outside the UK have never talked about the BAFTAs.
Ever, never.
So maybe that's what they were going for. Although the BAFTAs is a really big deal. I don't know why you need to do that, but...
Wait, so besides Free Palestine, what else?
Well, I wish I had the clip. I didn't take notes on it, but you know, we don't have the clip ready to go.
Okay. All right.
So we could either sit here in silence while the clip gets ready,
Or move on with our lives.
or move on with our lives. But the BAFTA edits,
Rasan Baftum.
Rasan BAFTA. It was Free Palestine, which we covered.
And some regular curses.
And the BBC has now apologized this morning for not editing out the racial slur. Let's see here. We apologize that this was not edited out prior to the broadcast and will now be removed from the version on the BBC. You know, there's a whole conspiracy theory about the guy who heads the BBC, one of the heads of the BBC, who's a big pro-Zionist, pro-Israel supporter,
Great.
who obviously wanted the Free Palestine edited out. But had, now they're pointing at him, which they're like, yo, he's not going to get kicked off the BBC. He's not going to get kicked off the board at all.
Wow.
The fact that you would actually edit out Free Palestine as if it's a curse, a bad thing.
Let's see.
to show you
We
where
take
we're
full
at.
responsibility. I'm reading the BBC's note here.
Go ahead.
The ill part is we apologize if you were offended.
That's what I said yesterday.
Nah,
I
it's
was
so
like,
crazy.
if?
Let's see. Hannah Bilcher, the production designer from the film Sinners. This situation is almost impossible, but it happened 3 times that night. And one of the 3 times was directed at myself on the way to a dinner after the show. I understand and deeply know why this is an impossible situation. I know we must handle this with grace and continue to push through. But what made that situation worse was that throwaway of an apology. So most people are really pointing to that apology.
Yeah.
Do we have the clip yet, Rasan? 2 seconds. The man says 2 seconds while we stall. Yo, do you know there's a list here? It says Ish Ebro sent. And it's there.
And it's so long. Today's he sent us a text and he had so many clips in it. How could this be the only thing? Every thought Ebro had yesterday is a damn clip we have prepared for today.
That's right.
How not this one?
I don't know, man. Rasan BAFTA strikes again.
You think he's working with them, perhaps?
You think so?
I don't know.
With the BBC?
Have you ever seen them in the same room?
Now, we're going to get to Laura Stylez' rundown coming up soon. We also, do you have stuff for the lowdown today?
No.
Yo, Laura does not want to be in the doldrums in the mud.
It's like, I don't want to talk about Ray J anymore.
You don't want to talk about Ray J, 50 Cent, T.I.?
Is the T.I. thing low down?
It's kind of low down. You're talking about somebody's wife is getting family focused. Yeah. T.I. put up a music video sitting at dinner with his wife. I think it was his mom or his mother-in-law. I'm not sure which one it was.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I feel like this ain't going nowhere.
You have the clip? Let's hear it.
He's got it.
Here we go.
First BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
Yes, that was the N word with the hard R followed by the B word. And no, I do not mean British. And it all happened at the BAFTAs, basically the British Oscars. The man who shouted it, John Davidson. And he was there because his life inspired a nominated film that night. He has Tourette syndrome. Tourette's is a neurological condition that can include involuntary vocal tics. Now, I'm not a medical expert, but I'm an expert on being a black man by the name of Dejan. And I know this. Disability may explain the cause, but it does not erase the impact. The BBC broadcasted the BAFTAs on a 2-hour delay. During the broadcast, he also allegedly yelled out, that was edited out though. He also allegedly yelled, shut the up during another speech. That was also edited out. Akinola Davis Jr. said free Palestine in his speech, but that was edited out. But the N-word with the hard R, yeah, that aired. Oh, and it aired while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were standing on that stage. 2 black accomplished actors. I shouldn't have to say this, but the N-word carries history. That history is filled with violence and that history is filled with humiliation. Nearly an hour after that moment happened, the host read a statement that said,
Tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
If? Okay, let's take that word if. If that had been another slur aimed at another community, would it have aired? Would it have taken nearly an hour?
Bruh.
But that really isn't that?
That's the story.
That's the
Yes.
whole story. I understand why people want to. It makes sense why people start debating the Tourette's part, but that probably is getting us into silly conversations that we're out of our depth in. It really is just why did it air? Because if they'd done the right thing and gotten rid of it, we're never talking about this.
Never.
And Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan never have to talk about it. They go, that was crazy, and they move on. Now it's a thing that lives on because they didn't do it. And they edited out regular curses. My man yelled, shut the F up during a speech.
And by the way, if they wanted to have force the conversation around Tourette's, which might be a healthy one,
right?
They could have kept some of the ones that were less egregious. Because shut the F up, nobody.
It's not polite, but it certainly doesn't have any history to it.
It's not the N word.
It is not.
It's not at all. So listen, the BBC put out another apology after that one that they aired.
The apology for the apology.
The apology for the apology.
It's crazy.
Stop of it.
But I can't help but feel, man, like it's constant when you're black. It just feels constant. It feels constant, like nonstop, that people want to have you in a constant state of like anger and like, why are you playing in my face? Because that is one of those. And it's coming from a government-run broadcast network. The BBC's run by the government.
But the BBC is also, like, generally speaking, from what we know of it, they're usually on the good side of stuff. Cover stuff fairly. I mean, they at least compared to American outlets, show us a lot of things we don't see.
Low bar.
Very low bar.
I know,
but they put on a lot of progressive programming. They've shown us a lot of great stuff.
Well, it was somebody's choice not to edit.
But
that
someone made a choice.
We have multiple emails that came in, one from Tiffany and one from Ed in the UK, who Ed says that he grew up and lived for a few years with his cousin who has Tourette's.
Okay.
And he goes on to explain what Tourette's is. This is from our discussion yesterday. Tourette's can latch on to the worst possible thing to say in any given moment, the most shocking, the most forbidden, the most likely to get a reaction. I've seen my cousin shout bomb in an airport. I've seen him shout terrorist at someone wearing a hijab. I've even heard him verbally threaten to harm people he loves most in the world. None of this reflects who he is. He's kind, thoughtful, and deeply empathetic. But like Mr. Davidson, he's had strangers react viscerally as if what came out of his mouth was intentional and revealing. Yeah, because people don't know your cousin like that. Like, what?
Well, yeah, I understand that for sure.
You can still feel hurt by the word. You can still dislike hearing it, but it's important to separate impact from intent. With Tourette's, there is no intent. Who doesn't deserve grace is the BBC, and he goes on to talk about what we just talked about.
Yeah.
So shout to Ed from the UK.